more than 90,000 tonnes, and this afternoon it got the royal seal of approval. The new Queen Elizabeth liner, which replaces the current QE2, was officially named by the Queen this afternoon. Our correspondent Robert Hall joins us now. Robert.
George, the Cunard ships are always crowd pullers here in Southampton. This one is no exception. Standing beside her here is like standing beside an apartment block. She can carry 3,000 passengers and crew. She arrived with a great deal of razzmatazz last Friday, and since then she's been surrounded by interested people, both on the water and on the quayside, particularly at today's naming ceremony, which really starts the working life of a ship which is designed to reflect journeys of the past. Under a brilliant blue October sky, a fanfare for a queen in the shadow of another queen. A £400 million addition to the Cunard fleet, carrying forward a story with long-standing personal links to this royal visitor.
At this moment, as a royal mother and her children pass almost beneath the towering skyscraper that soon will come to life at the touch of a royal hand,
when Princess Elizabeth stood beside her mother at the launch of the first ship to bear the name, the Queen Elizabeth was the largest passenger vessel ever built.
The Duke and Duchess of Windsor are among those returning to America.
Her transatlantic crossings attracted the world's most famous faces, on board to sample luxury and personal attention.
Bing Crosby used to come down there. He used to sing songs in the shower. My name is McNamara, but not the words that you and I know. You know, he used his own words, and of course we used to shower him.
Today's visit offered an experience which was not available to the young princess. There have been many tours of many ships. This one was crammed with reminders of other maritime encounters. The launch of the QE2, which would go on to sail 6 million miles and transport 3,000 troops to the Falklands conflict. Cunard's latest ocean giant took shape not on the Clyde but in an Italian dockyard. Britain has not built a passenger vessel of this size since the 1970s. But today's send-off was British through and through.
I name this ship Queen Elizabeth. May God bless her and all who sail in her.
Memories of that first ceremony back in 1938 in a changed world. The cruise industry has weathered a chilly financial climate, but Cunard have no more ships on order for their UK operation. This one may be the last of her kind. Well, this evening a new ship's family is welcoming passengers aboard for the maiden voyage. They'll be waving farewell to Southampton. John Dempsey was talking about the link between the city and the ship, and judging from the response today, that bond is as strong as ever. George.
All right, Robert, thank you.
Well, here we are live on board Queen Elizabeth as Cunard's newest ship prepares to make her debut onto the cruising industry stage. And Cunard has one of the oldest names in shipping and now has one of the youngest fleets. Well, we're on deck 11, as they call it. This is called the games deck, and as we sweep around here, we're actually overlooking people. Well, they've started cocktail hour, I have to say, for the many guests who are here this evening. That's one of 3 swimming pools on board. Let me just give you a few statistics of this ship. She cost more than £400 million to build in an Italian shipyard. She carries more than 2,000 passengers, and there are just under 1,000 crew on board. And if you just want a fun statistic, because there are many of them, for a whole year they will get through something like 13,000 pounds of smoked salmon. Just gives you an idea of what you can expect on board this ship. Well, it was a spectacular naming ceremony by Her Majesty the Queen in the home port of Southampton here. And Cunard, for many, many years, has had a royal connection.
We send forth upon her mission this noble ship. Name her Queen Elizabeth.
I name this ship Queen Elizabeth II. I name the ship Queen Mary II. May God bless her and all who sail in her.
I'm sure you recognise many of the people there. Let me just tell you, or many of the ships there, I should say. I saw the late Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. That was naming the original Queen Elizabeth. Then, of course, the present Queen naming QE2, and more recently, Queen Mary 2. Well, today's ceremony was only the 5th time that our present monarch, Queen Elizabeth, has actually named a ship. And Bryony Leyland watched the naming ceremony this afternoon.
Cunard think big with their ships, and today's naming ceremony certainly measured up. It was an immaculately choreographed afternoon of pomp and circumstance. Her Majesty the Queen toured the ship, meeting crew members, and for the first time coming face to face with this new portrait by Isabel Peachy. The Queen may have been a visitor today, but her hosts were keen to emphasise her long-standing connection with Cunard.
Many claim the souls of ships as their own, but the essence of this ship belongs to one person. This, Your Majesty, as we approach your Diamond Jubilee Year celebrations, is without doubt your ship.
Despite being built in Italy by an American-owned company, the flavour of today's spectacle was resoundingly and very deliberately British.
Let your blessing be upon this ship and upon all who sail in her.
I name this ship Queen Elizabeth. May God bless her and all who sail in her.
Reviving a Cunard tradition, it was wine, not champagne, in that bottle, a crucial part of the ceremony that, like the rest of the day, ran like very well-oiled and very expensive clockwork.
Quite a naming ceremony, as you can see. With me now is the president of Cunard, Peter Shanks. Peter, thank you very much. Are you a relieved man tonight?
I'm a very, very happy and proud man. We all are at Cunard. It's just been a great day.
And what did the Queen say about the ship?
Well, she was lovely. She was really interested in the differences between the original ships, the QE2 and the new one. And she was really quite knowledgeable about what we were up to. She actually asked halfway around if she could look at a cabin. So that put us into a bit of a spin, but we found one for her and then we showed her around. So she was really interested. And I think the best moment for all of us when we walked her down through the grand lobby and she was cheered by all the ship's company and she had a genuine smile on her face. So it was terrific.
The hour and the minute are at hand, and neither crisis nor threat of war can affect one of the greatest events in the history of Britain on the sea.
As a 12-year-old girl, the present Queen Elizabeth watched her mother launch the ship.
But the soft and mellow voice of the Queen puts into ringing words what the whole empire thinks and feels today.
The launching of a ship is like the inception of all great human enterprises, an act of faith.
Queen Elizabeth was the largest passenger liner in the world, a record that would stand for 56 years.
She heads for the New World in the greatest secret voyage in history.
The Second World War started before the ship was finished, so she became a troop ship. Painted grey, her first journey was to New York. She carried 750,000 troops, including these Americans coming home from the war.
These are the guys who helped win it for us against the Nazis.
So her maiden voyage as a liner was not until 1946, sailing from Southampton.
She is once again Queen of the Atlantic.
Together with her sister ship, Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth sailed between Southampton and New York for more than 20 years.
From any angle, it's a great ship.
She was maintained in the city's dry dock.
Each propeller, and there are 4, weighs 32 tons. Cleaning them is just one of the jobs which will keep more than 2,000 people busy while the ship is in dry dock.
But in 1968, she left home for the last time.
Southampton. The Queen Elizabeth prepared for her final voyage, but not without a last goodbye from Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother.